Everyone thinks that he is a fake underground doctor without a license, but he is the best healer in the world. Xenos is a young, talented healer in the kingdom of Herzith, a nation whose history was heavily shaped by healers. The Royal Hospital of Herzith is famous throughout the world for its talented healers who make the world a better place. But Xenos is not like the other healers who are properly trained and have a license. He is a self-trained healer operating in the slums without a license. He lives in a big rundown house along with his elf servant Lily and heals anyone who can pay his fee without any questions. He has another housemate, a MILF ghost named Carmilla, who just floats around the house doing nothing. On one usual day, after treating all the patients who visit him, Xenos goes on a house visit for a patient who can pay him more and Lily starts cooking dinner. Soon after he leaves, a whole multi-species lineup of his simps come to the clinic hoping to spend some time with him. They include the lizard girl Zofia, the dumb furry Linga, and the dark elf muscle mommy Loev. The girls begin competing over the right to see Xenos first and talk how they want him to examine their bodies thoroughly, but Lily angrily interrupts them because she doesn't like anyone thirsting after him. After she is done calming the three girls, Lily invites them to stay over for dinner, saying that they are going to eat together once Xenos returns. However, once she steps out of the room to do laundry, the furry and the muscle mommy can't hold back their urge to taste the delicious stew before dinner. Just one sip of the dish makes them crave for more, and even the lizard girl can't hold back for very long. The three of them finish the stew in record time, but then they realize that they are in serious trouble now. As they wonder how are they going to explain it, Lily returns inside, and she is horrified when she learns that these dumb ate their entire dinner. They start blaming each other for finishing the food, but then Carmilla arrives there, furious because she was really excited about dinner tonight. The three girls are dead scared of her, and they volunteer to help Lily in cooking a second batch. Lily sadly informs them that they don't have any more ingredients, so they decide to bring the best quality ingredients they can find for her. While the girls are busy worrying about dinner, Xenos returns home after finishing his house visit. On the way, he passes by a beast girl named Till holding her stomach tightly to suppress the unbearable pain she is feeling. He stops to examine her symptoms, but just then, the beast girl's master arrives there, asking her where the hell she has been. Till tells him that she went to a doctor for her stomach ache, but since she had no money, they didn't even examine her. The arrogant bastard just sighs as he grabs her by the hair, asking if she thinks that a slave like her can get a day off just by acting that she has a stomach ache. He drags her away to do her job and Xenos watches this drama unfold without doing anything because it is none of his business. Meanwhile, the takes Till to the local cemetery and throws her on top of a grave, releasing a ghost that enters her body without anyone noticing. The man starts telling her to do the only thing she is good at, which is finding valuables hidden inside the graves, but when she doesn't answer, he sends her rolling with a kick. She keeps holding her stomach tightly, and as her master tells her to get to work, the ghost starts taking control of her. The jerk doesn't notice it and starts heading back, telling Till that she will not get any dinner if she returns empty-handed. However, she is fully possessed by the ghost now and suddenly attacks him, slashing his guts open with her claws. The jerk realizes that he is screwed because Till is no longer obeying him, and he runs away as fast as he can with his bleeding wound. He runs into Xenos on the way and begs him to save him from his berserk slave, but Xenos replies that he has no time for arrogant jerks like him. Just then, Till arrives there and Xenos can see the dark energy surrounding her. He asks the jerk where the two of them are coming from, and he replies that they were doing some farming. Xenos doesn't believe it, but the jerk doesn't care. He asks him to take his feral slave down and promises a reward in exchange. Suddenly, Till lunges at the bastard again, and Xenos quickly saves him before tossing him to the side. The beast girl marks him as her next target and throws stones at him with full strength. Xenos easily dodges all the stones that could have left holes in his body, and the jerk thinks that he can defeat Till. However, Xenos replies that he is a healer, and killing people is usually frowned upon in his line of work. Just then, Till yeets a huge boulder towards them, and Xenos shatters it with a magic-covered fist. Till then dashes towards him with great speed, and he dodges a few attacks before letting her strike his magic barrier that sends her flying into a building. She somehow crawls out the rubble despite serious injuries, but because of that, the ghost starts losing its control over her. Xenos is finally sure about what's bothering her, but as he tries to help her, Till bites his arm. Xenos doesn't care about that, and he immediately uses his healing magic on her, treating her wounds and expelling the ghost possessing her. He purifies the ghost with his powers too, and then declares that he has done enough work for today. The rich bastard sees all this, and now he finally believes that Xenos is a skilled healer. He asks him to save him, but Xenos replies that he has already met his target for today. The man complains that he is dying and demands him to heal him right away, and Xenos tells him that it will cost him extra. The man throws his purse in front of him to cover for the expenses, but Xenos tells him that it is not enough. The man gets pissed at this and threatens to complain to the medical board about charging too much, but Xenos tells him to go ahead because he doesn't have a license and the medical board can kiss his He then suddenly gets an idea and says that he will take the beast girl as the rest of his payment. The rich bastard immediately agrees to the deal, and Xenos doesn't waste any time in treating him. After that, he stays with the unconscious beast girl till she wakes up, and her stomach pain flares up again. She asks Xenos who is he, and he shows her the document saying that he is her new master. He then immediately gets down to business and tells Till to strip because he needs to check something. She freaks out thinking that her new master is a pervert, but since she is a slave, she has no choice. Till removes her shirt and Xenos sees a gallstone that is causing all her pain. He begins saying some medical mumbo-jumbo like he is Dr. House, and then uses his magic to pull the gallstone out of her body. Till immediately feels better and asks Xenos how he did that, and he replies that he used magic to cut her open, pull the stone out, and then patch her back just within a second. Till can't believe that this is even possible, but Xenos likes to be humble at times and says that any healer could have done that. Till can only thank him for curing her, but Xenos says that he doesn't want her thanks. Instead, he wants her to pay back the amount she cost him. Till is willing to do anything for him, starting with a Gluck Gluck 3000, but Xenos is no beta simp, and he tells her to find a special herb for him. Till is disappointed, but she still finds the special herb for him, and Xenos tells her that she has fully repaid her price now. She doesn't understand if he is joking or telling the truth, so Xenos tells her that he would not have found these herbs without her, so she really has paid him back for buying her, and now she is free to go wherever she wants. Till can't believe this, but Xenos tears the slave contract, telling her that she owns her life now. She gets emotional and thanks him for helping her, and Xenos asks her to come to his clinic if she ever needs a healer, but also warns her that his fee is a bit high. With that, he returns home just in time for his three simps to return with the ingredients for their dinner. Xenos remembers the time when he was the member of the revered Golden Phoenix, which became one of the strongest adventure parties in the entire kingdom. One day, the leader of the party named Aston tells Xenos that they don't want a poor slum-dwelling commoner in their party anymore and gives him a gold coin as severance pay. Aston claims that Xenos is good for nothing anyways, and they are much better off without him. Xenos is confused because he is a very strong healer who has been helping the party ever since it was formed. But Aston laughs at this, claiming that he is a poor self-taught idiot who never got an official healer's license, which makes him completely useless. Xenos looks at him and claims that he thought that they were friends, but Aston laughs at his face alongside his friends, mocking Xenos, claiming that he was just a meat shield for them and nothing more. Aston tells him that now that they are the strongest party in the kingdom, they are basically celebrities, and it's not a good look to have a common slum dweller in a party filled with aristocratic nobles. Aston claims that the gold coin should be more than enough for him to go anywhere, and that he should never open his mouth about being in their party. Xenos realizes that this is basically money to keep him quiet, so he gets up and leaves the room, while thinking about what he will do with his life now. While walking aimlessly, he suddenly hears the sound of someone struggling and goes over to investigate. It turns out to be a man and a woman trying to subdue an elf slave so that they can sell her off to an ugly noble, but the slave girl tries to fight back and run away, forcing the man to shoot an arrow in her leg. He walks up and grabs her by the collar, but the elf is fiery and bites his attacker's hands, making him even more pissed. The man then grabs his dagger and stabs her in the stomach, annoying the woman, who calls him a numbskull for ruining their merchandise. Xenos watches them argue over the body of the slave girl in a puddle of blood, and he decides to quickly intervene. He offers them the gold coin in return for the slave girl, and the woman immediately accepts since the girl is as good as dead already. The duo immediately disappear in the darkness while Xenos quickly starts examining her wound. The slave girl thinks that she is already dead, but Xenos is an incredible healer and easily heals her to full health. The slave girl is utterly surprised since she didn't even feel a thing and thanks Xenos for his help. She introduces herself as Lily and immediately gets worried about the gold coin that Xenos paid for her. Xenos realizes this and tells her not to worry about that at all, as it wasn't a big deal. In reality, he wasn't too keen on holding on to the pity money from a jerk like Astan anyways. Lily asks whether Xenos is a world-famous healer, but he replies that he is a nobody who doesn't even have a healing license. He then asks where does she live, but she replies that she is hungry and homeless. Xenos decides to take her in and takes her to a small tavern, where he gets her some better clothing and some warm food. Lily eats hungrily, asking whether Xenos is not going to eat anything, to which he replies that he is not hungry, when in fact he doesn't have any more money to buy food. Just when he was thinking about how to look for a job, a lizard man enters the tavern, asking for some water. He sits down on a chair with blood dripping from his arm from what seems like a bullet hole. Xenos walks up to him and examines his wound, claiming that there is nothing to worry about as it is basically a scratch. The lizardman thinks that Xenos is retarded, but without a second word, Xenos raises his arms and chants the healing spell, which completely heals the lizard man's wound immediately. The lizard boy is shocked but happy at the same time and immediately hands Xenos some money before leaving the tavern. Xenos is a little confused because this is the first time he has been paid for healing someone. Lily claims that it seems pretty normal for her as healers charge a fee to heal someone. Xenos decides that he is going to live by this concept from now on and start his own clinic. One problem with that is that since he is from the slums, getting a license for a legal operation would be next to impossible, so he would probably have to be an underground healer who works illegally. Lily seems pretty happy with this decision and promises to help him all her life. Xenos doesn't really want to drag such a young girl in an illegal operation, but since he can't leave Lily like this, he decides to let her be with him for now. He takes her to an abandoned part of the town where most of the houses are destroyed and not a soul can be seen walking around. Lily asks why they are in such a bad place, and Xenos replies that they need to stay a little far away from the town center since they need to stay under the radar. He claims that he is looking for an intact house to call his home, and finally he spots one of the houses that isn't too bad. He starts inspecting the entire house, even though it seems to be in a pretty bad condition. Xenos is simply happy to have a roof above his house since for most of his life, he had to sleep out in the open while he was at his old party. Lily uses her light magic to illuminate the area and Xenos starts checking everything out when suddenly they run into a wraith who is none other than Carmilla herself. Lily hides behind Xenos thinking that this is the end, since wraiths are the strongest undead monsters who are said to have the touch of death. Carmilla smiles at seeing fresh meat being walking into her palace and decides to attack them, but Xenos calmly casts his healing magic, which causes her arms to disappear. She is shocked to see a human fight back, while Lily looks at him surprised, asking how the hell is he fighting a wraith. Xenos looks confused and claims that he doesn't see what the big deal is since he has already fought against hundreds of them. It turns out that whenever Astan wanted to be amused, he would send Xenos in the deepest dungeons where he was forced to deal with wraiths, but Xenos soon realized that they are actually weak to his healing magic. Back in the present, Xenos apologizes to Carmilla but claims that he wants to stay here and would try not to disturb her. The wraith decides to attack again, but Xenos pushes her back easily. Carmilla is annoyed since she is the queen of wraiths and no human ever has dared challenge her before. She points her hands up and calls in a small army of wraiths to deal with Xenos. But the underground healer is too strong for them and casts High Heal, which immediately kills all the lower level wraiths, leaving Carmilla alone. Xenos again apologizes for barging in like this and asks whether he could at least get a single room to run his clinic. Carmilla, realizing that this human is something different, agrees to share the space, but claims that the second floor is her private quarters before disappearing. A couple of days pass by after that, but the room soon starts looking more like a clinic as they make some final adjustments. Lily asks whether they should advertise, but Xenos claims that they don't need to do anything. Just then, the door opens and the lizard man enters again. He introduces himself as Zahn and tells Xenos that this time he brought his sister with him. The sister looks at Xenos asking whether he can deal with her arm wound. Xenos realizes that she must have been shot by a magic poison bullet which has infected her arm completely. He claims that the arm would need to be amputated as it is already dead. The woman looks at him and asks how much would she have to pay, and Xenos quotes $100,000. Zahn is outraged by this since this is way above the market rate for a simple amputation, but the woman calms him down, claiming that Xenos is smart and knows that she is Zofia, the leader of the lizard clan. Xenos actually didn't know that, but he has heard the name before, as there are major clan leaders in the slums, one of them being Zofia, who steals from the rich and distributes to the poor. Zofia asks him to justify such a high price, and Xenos replies dryly that regenerating a new arm takes a lot of energy. This leaves her stunned as she asks what the hell does he mean by regenerating. He looks confused and claims that he will chop her arm off and get her a new one. Zofia is shocked but tells him that if he can do that, then she will pay him the money he was asking for. Soon he lays her down at the table and uses an ethereal scalpel to amputate her arm before regenerating a brand new one. Xenos is surprised to know that healers don't normally do stuff like this, while Zofia thanks him for his help, claiming that she will probably be sending more people his way to get healed. A couple days pass by when one night after tending to the patients, Xenos sits down for some tea with Carmilla and Lily when Lily asks why are the lizard people always injured when they come to him for help. Xenos claims that there are 3 factions in the underground slums who are constantly at war. One being the lizard people, one being the orcs, and the last one being the furries. Just then he senses something and the door opens as a bunch of furries enter the room alongside a demi-human girl who introduces herself as Linga, the leader of the furries. Xenos knows that she handles all the gambling operations and is quite a tyrant, so he tells her that they are closed for the day, but if it's an emergency then he can have a look. Linga laughs and claims that no matter how many times they beat the lizard people, they always keep popping back up completely healed, and then she learned that Xenos is the one healing them up. With that, she grabs a big axe and starts walking towards him, claiming that she will kill him so he can't help the lizard people anymore. With that, she lunges at him, but the shield around him shatters the axe. All the furries start attacking him, but it has no effect on him, so they start trashing his place. He tries to stop them, but they don't listen when suddenly Carmilla appears angry at the destruction of her house. All the furries piss their pants seeing a wraith angry at them, but before she could unalive them, Xenos stops her, claiming that this clinic is for saving lives and not for taking them. Carmilla decides to leave him alone and moves back up, while Linga immediately drops to the floor asking for forgiveness, as a man who can deal with a wraith can delete all the furries at once. Xenos tells them not to worry about that, as he realizes that he has probably got another stream of customers for his clinic. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing and watch the video on your screen next.